happens going forward. Let's speak to Wayne McCurry of FNB Wealth and Investments. Wayne, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. So we've had issues of, ratings agencies being concerned regarding debt to GDP levels, of course, fragile SOEs. We just had a story on Eskom and the concerns there. We have another new finance minister. Does that trump their other concerns, or is it something that's just added on?
I don't think the new finance minister will make any difference whatsoever. It might even add a little bit of positive because it shows that the government is now acting on any misdeed done by a minister and in fact a politician. So that might be positive. But we all know what the problems are in South Africa. It boils down to two things essentially. Debt is too high, and that includes all of the guarantees to Eskom, because if you take Eskom and all the guarantees and you add them all up together, you're probably approaching another 350 billion rand, which is effectively government debt. And then secondly, the so-called policy uncertainty or structural changes. Those are the two main things. Rating agencies also look forward. So the mere fact that we're in a recession wouldn't necessarily sway them to be more negative. It simply says, what are you doing about it? What are your plans, etc.
So holding patterns, of course, is something that is quite prominent. I was listening to radio today, and it's not abnormal for a ratings agency to withhold, given that we're going to a midterm budget next week, and we're going to have a new finance minister present that midterm budget.
Look, what comes out in the midterm budget is very, very important. I think it'll be good news. I think the government will make a statement about debt. I think they'll make a statement about privatization, even though it's going to be very, very vague because an election's coming up and it's not necessarily a very popular subject. They will make a statement about policy changes. They said last week that they're going to now issue out the spectrum. We've had the mining charter, but there's labor legislation. There's a whole lot of structural changes to get rid of this policy uncertainty as to what's going forward, and I think they'll make an announcement of that. So the midterm budget will be positively accepted by the rating agencies, but understand the other main agencies are not going to upgrade us for a long time still. So we are hanging on by our fingertips because Moody's is the last one that's got us investment grade, and should they downgrade, then we will go junk status, and clearly that's not good news.
Yeah, of course. And what about if government actually cuts our growth forecast down, where we become more realistic about what we can achieve? Will that make a difference?
Look, the market knows that long before the Reserve Bank or the government cuts your growth targets. I mean, they are, quite frankly, they're lagging indicators. The market knows this already, so they just will confirm what is the reality and what's known. Look, it is most unfortunate that we did go into a recession this year because it's mainly global events. It's not domestic events that are doing this. It's mainly global events that have caused this recession that we're in now. And hopefully we can turn that around, because when you consider where we were a year ago to where we are now, we've made a lot of progress, specifically in the SOEs, but also in government, also with the mining charter, also with corruption and the whole maladministration. We have still got an incredibly long way to go on that, but at least we haven't regressed. We've gone forward. And I suppose the most simplistic way of viewing it is, a year ago, all the ministers used to visit the Guptas in Saxonwold. Now the Guptas aren't even in Saxonwold. So things have changed.
Yeah, they have. So, but the one thing that many people are saying is that Ramaphoria has died down. There's more focus on corruption now because of the state capture inquiry. What's the international community's, opinion of South Africa when it comes to corruption and how we can actually keep our economy afloat?
Yeah, look, let's be realistic. South Africa is an emerging market. If investors invest in emerging markets, corruption and maladministration is quite frankly not unusual. It's not what you want, and you hope to improve it, but emerging markets are risky places. That's why they're called emerging markets. Certainly with the new president around, overseas investors view us a lot more positive. But at the moment, any emerging market has been viewed in a very dim light by global players. In other words, we might be one of the prettiest ugly girls at the party. But at the moment, all emerging markets are ugly.
Yeah.
No one likes them at the moment. We just not doing too badly in relation to other emerging markets. If you think life's tough here, have a look at Argentina and Turkey and Venezuela. It's way tougher there.
Yeah, we've actually done extensive coverage on those countries in the past month alone. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. We do appreciate it.